Hey there, Jessica, Barefoot Fit Jess. I just wanted to talk today about creating space. This kind of came to me in a flash today when I was on a call with some of my colleagues that are really like they're holistic in their approach to their health, and they're helping other people really kind of just be more in tune to how their bodies and minds are connected, and how we have more control over our health than we really believe. So it's been really fun working with this group for the last year, and the thing that came to me was about creating space. And it all stems from a few things happening this week, and specifically one thing that happened yesterday. So yesterday, I was able to join a friend of mine. I am an instructor at the center. Just happened to be wearing the shirt. And I teach PiYo. I teach kind of a power yoga fusion class 2 days a week there, and then attend and kind of like assist with some other classes. And what happened yesterday was I got to attend a yoga class with a friend of mine who she's moved here for the first time in a long time. She used to live in California, used to live in Florida, and she is an amazing yoga teacher. And she has started doing yoga on the lake, which is across the slough from where I live, a couple days a week. And I'm usually not able to attend because I'm either teaching or I have the kids because my husband's off doing, band practice as a musician. So anyway, it's not always going to work out for me to go, but yesterday the stars aligned. I was able to go. So we're on our dock. There's a small group of us doing yoga, and we go into triangle pose. So I don't know if you know about triangle pose. Your legs are straight, but they're kind of, one's turned, one's straight, and you're kind of leaning over to the side like you're in between two walls. So your body's still straight, and I have worked my way to where I can be pretty flexible and take my hand all the way down to the floor and keep my chest open. But she pointed it out. She was like, I don't want anybody to reach all the way to the floor. She's like, come back up a little, Jessica. She's like, I want you to create space. I want you to leave that space. And it just kind of struck me because I think a lot of times especially with the way our attention spans are now, because we have access to anything, anytime we want it, pretty much with the social media, with our phones, there's just constantly information that can be bombarding you at all times. And if you think about the last time you didn't touch your phone for like hours, can you remember that time? So like I said, this happened all over a few days where like this thought kind of came in, was because this past weekend we had friends visiting from out of town. We had family visiting, all that stuff for the long Memorial Day weekend, right? There was at one point, I think on Sunday, I can't remember if it was Sunday or Monday, but we had those friends that were here until Monday, and there were like almost a whole day, like a big chunk of the day, over half of the day where I didn't even know where my phone was. Now, I don't want to think that I'm like addicted to my phone, but maybe I am. I do work from my phone. I have several accountability groups or support groups that I run. I have an online community, a free one for women. And obviously I like to, post and stay in touch and give value, and try to like teach people stuff through social media. So, and also share my kids. I mean, I know nobody cares about my kids, but just like any mom, I'm going to share my kids, right? So, it was kind of weird for me to like not even know where my phone was, and I didn't even care. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. I knew it was somewhere. I just, I wasn't panicky because I didn't think it was lost, but I was just knew that it would show up eventually, and then I wasn't even worried about it. So it was kind of a self-imposed break. And then the couple days leading up to that, I was just making sure to be more present, be more present with our friends, be more present with my kids, and not worry about capturing every little thing on camera and, trying to like look up what everybody else has got going on and all that kind of stuff. So I've been really good since I am I am an entrepreneur, I'm, self-employed, all that stuff. If I work from my phone, I have to put in boundaries, right? So like I hardly ever have my sound on my phone. The only time I have it set to ring is when I know that like somebody might need to get in touch with me because of my kids or whatever. But I don't get those notifications, those dings, none of that, because I don't want it distracting me. I don't want it taking up my brain space. So I've started creating space so that I can be in my own head and kind of create, if I'm going to create those positive thoughts, if I'm going to create that content or that value that I want to share with people, and things are constantly interrupting me, then it makes it really hard to like stay in that, right? So, or if I just want to be in the moment, which I try to be obviously more often than not, but it can be really hard, right? So if I want to just be and just allow that space to like to receive things, like it's really hard to receive like positive energy or whatever from the universe, from God, if you're trying to pray, if you're trying to meditate, all that stuff. Like you cannot be constantly doing other things and have things in your space. You have to create that space so that things can enter it. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to kind of throw it out there. If you feel really overwhelmed, if you feel kind of, anxious, or like you don't have a second to breathe, if you feel like you're kind of being maybe blocked creatively, if you feel like you're blocked, if you feel like, I don't know, just kind of run down, like you're burnt out, maybe just take a break. If it's like, even just an hour, but putting your phone in a drawer and like being far away from it for an hour, that's not really that long, right? I don't know if you can put the stop scrolling thing. I forget what it's called, but I put it on my desktop. Now I use an iPad most of the time, or my phone, but it wouldn't let me scroll on Facebook, I don't know. And there's just certain things you can unfollow people, you can block people or whatever. If it causes that negative energy to enter your space, like you need to be protective of your space. Like your mindset controls your perspective, your life every day. So you need to be in charge of creating that space. So creating that space not only that's like embedded in positivity, but also allowing for space for creation to happen, for self-discovery, to receive from whatever it is that you're wanting to receive, right? I don't know. It kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. We were talking about it on our call today, and it was kind of, unintended pause from social media from one of the girls. She's in Spain, and so she was on our team call from Spain, and she's like, I don't have Wi-Fi if I leave the house that we're staying in, and she's going to be there for a while. So she's like, when I go in adventure, like I can take pictures and video to share later, but she's like, I'm not on social media. And it's kind of, she's forced to create that space, and she's like, I have to think, I have to, or just be, you're not distracted, you're not avoiding your feelings because you can just hop on something and, look some stuff up or watch a video or whatever. Obviously, I'm a big fan of social media because it has helped me work my business. It's helped me connect with people. It's helped me help people. It's helped me fulfill my purpose. And I enjoy, keeping up with people too, but like making those connections, it's been priceless. But I do strongly believe that just like anything else, moderation is key, and you have to create that space. You have to impose those boundaries and create space for yourself to have that time. So whether it's some workout time, whether it's some meditation time, whether it's just a straight up break from social media, even if it's just for an hour, if you can make it a day, whatever it is, I think a lot of times we don't realize like what an effect it has on us until we have that break, and then we're like, that felt good, or we finally get to working out again and we're like, that felt good. Or we just literally sit still for 5 minutes. Like sitting still for 5 minutes while you're awake and while you have all these other things you need to do. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you just sit still and just be with yourself and your thoughts and your emotions and acknowledge and honor all of that for 5 minutes, like your day will be so much better. So even I get out of the practice of that sometimes. And so anyway, getting to go to that class last night, if you're having kind of a break from social media this weekend, and then being on the call today and just kind of it hitting me that, man, creating space needs to be a practice, just like yoga. So I hope that that's maybe inspired you to create some space, and y'all have a great day.